Good morning, everyone. Second time's a charm. All right, we are live. Guess what we're doing today? We are talking about the 4-month sleep regression. I know this is a huge topic. We all hear about it, or we are in the newborn stage and we're all excited. You know, some of us have really great sleepers right off the hop. And then around the 3 to 4 month mark, everything changes. They're not sleeping near as well as they used to. So today I'm going to explain to you why that happens. Okay, so good morning, everyone. Today we are doing the 4-month sleep regression. So listen in, this video will stay in the group so you can go and rewatch it if you've missed the live. But I'm gonna dive right into it for you guys, okay? So as I was kind of saying, you know, a lot of the times when we have our newborns, they're sleeping pretty good. They wake up, they eat, they hang out for a little bit, and then they're back to sleep. And this, you know, kind of really ties in with all the newborn tips that we've been talking about over the last month or so. So what happens when they turn that 3 to 4 month mark? Why does their sleep go completely sideways? A lot of the things that happen with the 4-month regression, you know, we can get through it fairly easily as long as we are on top of things. So the 4-month regression is actually a developmental milestone. It's one of the first developmental milestones that our little ones go through. It happens right at the same time. Hi, Claire. It usually happens about the same time they're starting to learn to roll, kind of go onto their sides, go onto their tummies a little bit, but there's the other aspect to this regression, and that is that they are going from an infant sleep cycle into an adult sleep cycle. Now, what does that mean? In a nutshell, our babies have 2 sleep cycles in that first few months together, or first few months of being in this little world. They spend 50% in one stage and 50% in a second stage. And as they turn 4 months, they go into a more adult-like sleep cycle, which has 4 stages to it. So what that kind of means is they have more light sleep than that really deep sleep. As adults, or when their babies get to be 4 months plus, the 4 stages that they're gonna kind of go into with their sleep cycle is, the first stage is a non-REM. Non-REM is non-rapid eye movement. It's where they're just starting to fall asleep. Don't really feel like you've actually fallen asleep. You're easily woken. You're just kind of fading in and out. Okay, it's a very light stage. Stage 2 is considered the first true sleep stage. Okay, this is where you would admit to you actually falling asleep if you were woken up. Stage 3 is your deep sleep. Okay, this is the regenerative or the slow wave sleep. This is where your body starts repairing and rejuvenating your body, including your immune system, your energy stores, your muscle tissue repair, and this is where it helps to develop your growth and development. Okay. Then stage 4 is your REM sleep, or rapid eye movement sleep. This is the stage where we do most of our dreaming, and this is also where our brains consolidate all the information from our days and our memories from the previous day and kind of restore. Once those 4 stages are complete, we actually then go back in and start stage 1, 2, 3, and 4 again. So what does this mean? We go through these sleep cycles numerous times through the night. As adults, we wake up 3, 4, 5 times a night, but we can recognize that we're in a dark place, we're in our bed, and it's time to just go back to sleep. And we basically do that until either our alarm goes off or we wake for the day naturally. With our newborns, they spend all of their sleep in stage 3, and 4. So the deep sleep and the REM sleep. And once they start to adjust and go into the adult-like sleep, they're actually only spending 25% in each stage. So they're not having quite as deep of a sleep, and so they're more easily woken. And if we haven't taught them up to this point how to sleep independently, they're going to find it really difficult in order to fall back asleep on their own. Okay, they're going to have troubles linking those sleep cycles. More often than not, up until this point, our babies have been assisted back to sleep. It's 100% common, 100% normal, 100% natural for us to help them along to their sleep. But if they go into transition into this adult-like sleep cycle and they don't know how to do it independently, we're going to have to guide them there a little bit more. So if you can think about it as if you're feeding your little one to sleep or rocking your little one to sleep, and then you lay them down and then they peek out of this sleep cycle. At this point, as adults, we would be able to recognize that we're in our bed and it's still nighttime, it's still dark, and we can fall back asleep. However, for our little ones, they don't recognize that yet. They just know that they fell asleep being rocked or fed or held, and then they wake up and that rocking is no longer there, mommy or daddy is no longer there, or that feed is no longer there. So that's what they wake up. They're a little bit startled. They don't know why they don't have those comforts as from what they fell asleep to. So they're going to want those comforts in order to fall back asleep. So what we need to do is to help guide them through this transition and allow them to learn how to fall asleep independently. So what we want to do is we want to start by teaching them some independent sleep skills, okay? Make their rooms nice and dark, like pitch black. At this age, they are not afraid of the dark. They love the dark, and even the smallest amount of light can stimulate them into thinking that it's awake time, okay? Take note of if there's any extra noise in the house or around the house. If you're on a really busy street, if you've got a couple older kids running around, you're going to want to try and make their sleep environment as quiet as possible. So that might mean that you have a noise machine, or you just work around the sleep periods for your little ones. Hopefully at nighttime you don't have anybody else running around. But just definitely with naps, you're going to need to make sure things are nice and quiet for them. You really want to make sure that you have a great bedtime routine in place. We've talked about bedtime routines here in the past little bit with our newborns. A solid bedtime routine can really make a huge difference, and it allows them a cueing system to just decipher between day and night. So having the exact same bedtime routine every night, doing it in exactly the same way, making sure that you've got that feed at the beginning of the routine, and usually a bath is a great way to signal the end of a day, beginning of the night, so wanting to have that in there. And your bedtime should only be 20 to 30 minutes in length, okay? You also want to make sure that you lay them down, excuse me, in their cribs, aware of going to sleep in their cribs. It's very startling for them to fall asleep in one place and wake up in another. So if we lay them down, excuse me, sorry. So if we lay them down where they're going to be spending their entire sleep, and they get to fall asleep there, they're not going to be near as startled waking out of those sleep cycles as they would be if they fell asleep in a different spot, okay? It's always kind of my comparison is if us as adults fell asleep on the couch and woke up in our bed, we would be extremely startled. we'd be WTF, what the heck happened, why, how did we get into our bed if we had no recollection of it because we fell asleep and were moved during a deep part of our sleep. Okay, so the same happens for our little ones. The other thing we want to talk about is we want to make sure that we understand that sleep begets sleep. The better they're going to sleep at night is the better they're going to sleep during the day. The better they're sleeping at day, the better they're going to sleep at night. We don't want our little ones to become overtired. It doesn't help them and it doesn't help us. Again, if you think about yourself, if you're so overtired, we all know as adults, it takes us a lot longer to fall asleep when we're overtired. And the same goes for our little ones, okay? If our little ones wake up in the middle of the night, you want to give them a little bit of room to kind of problem solve and see if they can get themselves back to sleep. It doesn't have to be for a long stretch of time, 10 minutes max, just to give them a little bit of time to do that problem solving. And a lot of the times our little ones, if we give them that little extra time, they will end up putting themselves back to sleep. If they don't get themselves back to sleep within that 10 minutes, then go to them, offer them a key phrase, reassure them that they're safe and they're loved and they're okay, and allow them to fall back asleep or help guide them back to sleep. Obviously, you're gonna, depending on their age and their weight, you're gonna wanna offer them a feed at some point during the night, but you really wanna hold them to their best. So if you know that they can sleep for a 5-hour stretch, you want to be able to wait that 5 hours if you can before you offer them a feed. Okay, just so that they're not needing that feed to fall asleep every single time and associate the feed to sleep. I hope that makes sense to you guys. You just really want to be there to offer your support and offer them comfort and guidance. The good news is there's only one 4-month regression. Once they've gone from 2 stages of sleep to 4 stages of sleep, that's where they're going to be for the rest of their lives. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean that they're not going to have setbacks and hiccups throughout their entire lives, but there's only one 4-month regression. So if you can get yourselves through that 4-month regression, if you can take that opportunity to teach them healthy sleep habits, allow them to fall asleep independently, you guys will get back on track. Okay. Where the 4-month regression can really set us back is if we start feeding them at every hour of waking. Okay, we know that our little ones can go a good 3 to 4 hours in between feeds, especially at nighttime. So you really want to just give them that little extra room to kind of problem solve, be there to guide them and coach them back to sleep, unless of course it's a feed time. Okay, you guys 100% can do this. It just takes a few days, a few nights usually to get through this 4-month regression. If you just kind of put your feet down, wrap your head around it, and jump right in. All of our little ones are different, so some might take to this a lot quicker than others. And that's okay. There isn't one baby that is absolutely exactly like another, so we want to give them that room as well. But if you follow those nice simple steps, you can get them back on track. Okay? If anybody is having difficulties with this, if you're trying these tips out and it's been a week or 2 and you haven't gotten your little one back on track, sleeping well, and you need that extra support, I'm always available for a discovery call. Discovery calls are free and they are where we get to talk one-on-one. I get to know your exact situation, what your goals are, how you like to do things, and then we can decide together if a personalized plan and high-end one-on-one support is what you need in order to get you through this stage. Most little ones at this age, the 4-month, 5-month, 6-month, and beyond, can be sleeping through the night within 2 weeks if you can really just put your feet down and start applying these steps and doing them consistently. I am always here to help. This is what I do. I love it. These little guys are so smart and they catch on very quickly. Just sometimes we need to be able to guide them and push them through it. So let's be there to support them. Let's be there to guide them. Let's get them through this 4-month regression, and you guys will be sleeping. So I'm going to drop the discovery call link into the comments here. Watch this video again. There is no reason that you can't keep on watching it over and over. Write down the steps. Get your guys' sleep back. We all need our sleep. It does wonders for our brains and our bodies and our whole entire family dynamic. So there you guys have it, the 4-month sleep regression. It is a developmental milestone and you guys can get through it. We just have to guide our little ones there. Thank you guys so much for coming and listening. You are incredible. And like I said, I will drop the link into the comments and you guys can book in for your discovery calls if you want to be walked right through it. All right. Love you guys. Have an excellent day. Bye.